afternoon, everyone. Please go ahead and take your seats so we can get started here. Hello there. Welcome to Muggle Studies. I appreciate you all being here on time today. Now, I can see that some of you look very confused right now, and yes, I am not the professor you were expecting. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Professor Amanda Faust of the Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, but if you want, you can just call me Miss Faust. You don't have to go all professor and stuff on me. So I'm going to be here teaching Muggle Studies as well as some other classes here as part of an exchange between Hogwarts and other universities as time goes on for this particular school year. I hope that we can all get to know each other and have a good year. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from the United States of America, as if you couldn't tell by my accent. I attended Ilvermorny as part of, and now I'm the head of Thunderbird House there. And I've been teaching there for the past 8 years. I am a Muggle-born, I believe that's how you say it here. So hopefully I can provide a good insight on this class for you. Now, just so that you are all aware, even though I've been assigned to represent Gryffindor House during my time here at Hogwarts, I'm going to be here for all students. I don't care what your background is, I don't care what house you're from, none of that matters to me. What matters is I want to make sure you all do well in this class and that you understand what we're talking about. So if anyone has any questions at any point, just ask. I encourage you all to ask questions in this class. So if there's something that you're not understanding or something that you're not getting, just go ahead and shoot me an owl and we can talk about... Why are you all looking at me like that? I wasn't being literal, students. Please do not shoot your owls. I can't believe I have to say that, dear God. That's what you call a figure of speech. We're going to be learning a few of those in this class, so you may want to write those down and take note of them. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to send me a letter via owl, or just come talk to me after class. Whatever works best. So one of the first myths that I want to debunk and challenge is that sorry, that's the term that North Americans use for Muggles, but I'm going to do my best to make sure I use terms that you're all familiar with. Again, if something doesn't sound right, please let me know. What I want to dispel is that Muggles are inferior to magic users. Now, this is just simply not true. Muggles are just another form of the human species. Instead of developing as magic users have, they've had to develop in their own ways. And those are the few things we're going to be talking about in this class. Now, like I said, they've had to follow a different process of developing and learning. Now, since wizards have been creating spells and potions over the last decades, century, and millennia, instead, Muggles have had to develop different things in the realms of science and technology to help them understand what... Yes? What is science? Well, that's a good question. 5 points to you. Science is a study. It is the study of the world around us. Why do things work the way they do? What are the building blocks of life? How do things work? That's what science tries to figure out. Now, science uses observations and experiments to help Muggles understand why things work the way they do. You might notice that it's similar to how magic develops. As we create spells and potions, we try them, we test them, we make sure they're working properly before we just let it all out on society. That's essentially what science does too. It's how Muggles understand the universe around them. Now, the more that they understand about how life works, the more they can change it, or alter it, or even bypass things to make things easier. You'll find that the similarities between the advancement of magic and the advancement of science and technology, the similarities are endless. Well, let me explain it this way. For instance, the study of medicine is heavily influenced by science and technology. Now, instead of developing bone grow or healing potions when we get sick, Muggles have developed medicine and even vaccinations to stop people from getting deadly diseases before they've even encountered them. Also, just as wizards have developed flu networks for fast travel, Muggles have developed airplanes and fast cars to get to where they need to. Sure, it may not be as instant as Flu Network, but it's what they've got. They have to use what they have. Now, the cool thing about Muggles is that they've even created technology to fly up in outer space. And not just fly out there, but live there. I don't see too many magic users doing something with that. Have you? Now, Muggles also have this cool thing about technology where they can actually collaborate with each other. They can see and speak to each other instantly, no matter where they are in the world. It's quite interesting, really. They can collaborate and work together, even if they're not physically in the same space. Technology is like the magic for a Muggle. That's good. Make sure you write that down, everyone. That's very important. Technology is like the magic of a Muggle. Now, we're going to be learning a lot about this technology, and I'm going to do my best to replicate it here in the classroom so you can see it for yourself. Now, this is not all that I plan to discuss, however. We're also going to be looking into the finer points of Muggle society. Now, due to the lack of magic, Muggles have had to develop a sense of society in different ways. Magic users feel more connected to other magic users by default, and that can override factors that Muggles have had to come to rely on as far as feeling some sort of connection to others. Let me explain it this way. I'm an American, right? I'm also a witch. Now, given those two pieces of information, is my natural allegiance going to be to other magic users just because I am one? Or is my natural allegiance going to be to other Americans, even if they're not magic users? See, I see those wheels turning in there. So, because Muggles don't know that they're Muggles, they can't bond over that. So what do they bond over? Sports teams, national pride, common ancestry, personality traits, religious beliefs, shared interests. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, I see it. It's going there. There you go. Because Muggles don't know that they're Muggles, they can't feel the same sense of unity that we as magic users can. So, we're going to be looking at that. Why the absence of magic has played a big part in the development of Muggle society. Again, I know that this can be a rather deep subject. Please do not hesitate to ask if there's something you don't understand. Now, well, all of this sounds wonderful, and indeed it is. A lot of it is, anyway. There are some negative aspects that we're going to be discussing in this class. I feel I would be doing you all a disservice if I did not cover some of the, how should I say it, more horrible things the Muggles have done. Just as there have been evil wizards and witches throughout time, there have been evil Muggles too. Muggles have the capacity to, and have done, some of the most vile, horrible, incomprehensible things. This is going to be deep, and I understand that it's going to be uncomfortable to talk about. But by teaching you about this, it's my hope that we can all learn from these events, and not just learn from them, but to possibly prevent them from happening again. There's a great quote that says, and I want to make sure I remember it right, "For those that forget history are doomed to repeat it." You may want to write that down too. Hopefully you'll all be able to learn to see how, even though the means of development have been different over time, there's not a lot of difference between Muggles and magic users. There are divisions just as much as there is unity. We will see that Muggles can hate over rather, let's be honest, stupid reasons. There's no other way to put it. It's stupid. But magic users also hate for stupid reasons. We as magic users tend to see ourselves as more of an accepting society. And in a lot of ways we are. But, as I'm sure you've seen, everyone's seen it at some point, a wizard will hate others for their blood status just as much as a muggle will hate other muggles for the color of their skin. Now, these are things that are out of our control, right? I cannot help that I am as white as mayonnaise. I can't help that I'm American. And I hope that you wouldn't judge me for that. But there are things, dear students, that we can control. It's my hope that you would see a muggle not just as a muggle, but as a human being. See the quality of their character, who they decide to be, how they choose to live their lives. It's my desire for muggles to be treated just as much as any magic user would, within context, of course. All I ask from you is that you come to this class with an open mind. And follow the golden rule. Judge others as you yourself would wish to be judged. That sound fair? Okay. We'll start tomorrow with the history of Muggle society, and then we'll go from there. Please make sure you read pages 7 to 20 of your textbook, and be prepared to discuss them, because that's going to help facilitate it. And again, I expect all of you to contribute, okay? If any of you have any questions, again, please feel free to let me know. Have a good day rest of your day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, hi. What can I do for you? Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad I can help bring a new insight to Muggle studies that you haven't had before. I'm glad. I really appreciate that statement. Thank you. Oh, well, I have heard about Professor Black's opinions. I have not had the chance to meet him personally yet, and I do believe people are entitled to their opinions. One of the things that I do plan on discussing in this class is why these stereotypes are continued and how they continue to affect us. Now, you'll find that people are a product of their environment. And I can't say I know enough about Professor Black's character to make any kind of assumption. Hey, listen to me. I appreciate you worrying about me. I really do. And I thank you for that. Okay? Now, who knows? Maybe the way I choose to conduct myself will make Professor Black think twice about his opinions on Muggles. Only time's going to tell on that one, okay? Here's one thing I do want you to remember. Let no man pull you low enough to hate him. Hate never solves anything. You know what does, though? Love. Love is the only thing that's ever made anything happen. Love can change everything. Okay? Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. You worry about you and this class. Run along now. You don't want to be late for your next one, okay? And don't forget to read the book. See you tomorrow.